Well, as we come to the course wrap-up, what I'd like to do is give you a little bit of direction on where to go now and what to do, and to just kind of bring everything that I've tried to teach you here into perspective. The first thing is understand C++ is an extremely powerful language. Now, with power comes complexity, okay? So don't get intimidated. At times you will. Just understand everybody gets intimidated. There are days that pointers just won't make any sense, and you kind of have to go back to square one and step through what all the little symbols mean and how it's actually working. That's why I like the real simple examples. If you can keep those around, then you can go back, work with a little simple example a little bit, and suddenly it all starts to make sense again. Okay, so don't let it intimidate you. Everybody had to start somewhere, and everybody gets confused. Okay, now C++ is powerful. With power comes complexity, but with complexity comes possibilities. You have an awful lot of buttons and knobs and things that you can turn and adjust to make it do just about whatever you would like it to do. Okay, now in terms of resources, there are a lot of C++ resources out there, but I want to direct you to probably one of the most authoritative that I've ever seen for good reasons, and that resource is a book called Principles and Practice Using C++. Now, Middle Tennessee pronunciation warning here, okay? This book was written by Bjarne Stroustrup, okay? Don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Probably not. It's a Swedish name. I'm from Alabama, now live in Middle Tennessee, okay? But this is the guy who actually created the C++ language. What I like about this book is it's not that it answers every question I've ever had about C++. It's not like this incredible reference that shows me how to do everything. It shows you an awful lot, though. There's a lot of information in here. But what I really like is you get from Bjarne the thought processes with why he did certain things with C++, how it was designed to work, and in a lot of instances, why he wouldn't do things certain ways, why he would use other aspects of the language to do whatever it is that's happening. Okay, so very, very neat resource for really understanding C++, okay? And then you have the old standbys, your local bookstore, Amazon, O'Reilly.com, all the online resources that you have out there. And I strongly encourage you on the books and on Google to go out there and search. But make sure that the author is speaking a language you can understand. A lot of times we go to live training classes, we're like, man, that guy was really good. And I don't want to take away from the trainer being one, but sometimes the trainer is just either speaking to your level or is empathizing with the level that you're at or is just barely ahead of you or whatever. But it's just easier to take in what this person's saying. And keep in mind, you don't want to necessarily learn from the most expensive, from the most incredibly intelligent and confusing. You want to learn from the one who can teach you the most, that you can take away the most useful information for the time and energy and money that you spent gaining that knowledge. Okay, be very careful with that in the bookstores and on Google. Don't be impressed by people who can write examples that have 800 lines of code just to show you how to instantiate an object. All right, make sure that they're speaking a language you can understand, and when you get confused, stop right there, chase down that answer, and then come back. Okay, then finally, get you a C++ development environment that you are comfortable with. This can be Visual C++ 2010 Express. It can be the full paid version. It can be any other C++ development environment out there. If you're doing standard C++, it doesn't matter, okay? But get one that you're comfortable with. What you want to get to is where the development environment is just like an extension of you, and you're not thinking, you're just working. And you're really thinking about design issues, about how C++ is working, what's the most efficient way to do this, what's the most logical way to do this, what's a good design way to pull this off. Anyway, that's where I want to leave you. C++ has a lot of power, okay? Start digging into it, kind of wade out, just like you would at the ocean. Just wade out a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and get used to the water, get used to the level, and at some point you're going to be swimming, okay? So just be careful, go slow, don't intimidate yourself.